Hey everyone, this is Chef. Welcome back to Uma. Today is a very busy day, and also a very important day, because we have, finally, the Fine Motion banner that we have been saving up our pennies for. So we've got a few new banners today. We have Admire Vega as a new trainee. We've said multiple times anytime a new trainee comes out that most trainees are more or less exactly the same, and Admire Vega isn't really any different. A medium runner, specialized at being an end closer, but high enough on mile or long that you could get her to do either if you wanted to. You could also get her to run late if you wanted to. Potential skills are nice. Nimble Navigator Innate is going to be good when Unity Cup goes away, so that you have access to a decent late race acceleration skill. Closing up and building velocity late race is not amazing though, so Sturm und Drang you're usually not going to pick up. There's the possibility that this can activate during the acceleration phase of a race, which is not when you want velocity to be happening. And then Serenity is also not a super reliable gold skill because you can't always guarantee that there's going to be runners ahead of you. So potential skills, not really a ton to chase here, except that Tether's kind of nice on mediums and Nimble Nav is kind of nice for end closers. But nothing else super significant going on. As far as growth rates go, though, the growth rates are nice. If you're a medium runner, you generally only need to bring about one stam card and you inherit the rest. So 10% speed, 20% power means you can skip power cards entirely. You can let your speed growth take care of all of that. And then stamina you can just build through inheritances. So the growth rates lend themselves fairly nicely. And then as far as the unique goes, the unique isn't amazing. The issue is, well, first of all, the issue is that final straight is track dependent. If you hit the final straight when you are still in the acceleration phase of a race, you're going to end up wasting all of your velocity. But then if you hit the final straight deep in late race, where you have already hit your velocity cap, you're probably not going to be far from the lead anymore, because you will have finished your acceleration phase and you should be gaining on other runners at that point. So there could be something that I'm missing with this unique skill, but it does not look particularly good to me. Overall, though, the point is that you don't really need to worry about potential skills. You don't really need to worry about uniques. You're mostly looking at aptitudes and growth rates, and there's not a ton of difference between trainees as far as those things are concerned. If you think Admire Vega is cool, you like the stories, go ahead and grab her. But for us, we are pulling on Fine Motion and Kawakami Princess. And Kawakami Princess is not the card that we want. Now, we've done Fine Motion reviews already. I've talked about why a Fine Motion is good. Kawakami Princess is also not a bad card. We're not going to be sad to get copies of her. 30% friendship bonus, 30% mood effect is nice for building stats. It would be nice if there were some training effectiveness, and specialty priority is a little low, but it's still meaningful. 10% race bonus means that she's kind of usable in Track Blazer coming up, but the biggest thing we're looking at is actually center stage. It's a cheap gold skill that consistently activates no matter what track you're on. It's exactly the kind of thing you're looking for when you're making a team trials runner. So even if we do pick up a couple copies of Kawakami Princess, it's going to be a card that we use for making team trials runners for sure, because it's a very specifically good gold skill for team trials that works on basically any track whatsoever. So let's go and pull. Cross your fingers. We're going to use up our 10 scout tickets first, because these count towards pity. I mean, technically we could use all 16 of them if we wanted to. These are functionally carrots, so we might as well spend them now. These don't guarantee us a gold, but they do get us closer to pity, which is nice. Nothing so far. Still nothing. Oh, another copy of Rico. You know what? That's actually extremely relevant. Copy of Tachyon's SR. We don't have that fully uncapped yet, so that's also a somewhat usable card. If we got 2 more copies of Rico, that would actually be kind of nice. Zeno Rob Roy is a card we've used here and there for parent runs, so that's not that bad. Not horrible, not great. Obviously no copies of Fine Motion. Then we're going to go up to 20. We're going to do 4 1x scouts, and then we're going to do the rest on 10 bulls. And then we will hit a nice square 200 pity points. So that's 2. 3, not a card we'll ever be using. Good card, actually. Daitaku Helios's power card is quite good. So that brings us to 20 pity, and now the rest we can just do on 10x's, which will guarantee us golds, which is nice. So these are the big ones. Let's see what we got. A copy of Kita-san? Not exactly what we were looking for, but this does put us to 1 limit break Kita-san, which is interesting. Yukino Baijin will probably not use. I don't think there's anything here that's super useful for us. I'm pretty sure we have Daiwa Scarlet to max limit break already, but if we don't, that's kind of a nice pickup. There's our first Kawakami Princess. I would rather you be fine motion, but it's okay. There's nothing else usable in that pull. Another copy of Sweet Tosho? I'm pretty sure we have... Wait, do we have one of those? Ooh, and we got a Kawakami Princess out of that. Okay. No, we didn't have one of these. So this is a somewhat reliable means of getting straightaway spurt, which is relevant for trying to put together this end closer Haru for the upcoming Aquarius CM. That's not that bad. It's also a decent speed card if we get a few more copies of it, and then a second Kawakami Princess is nice, but again, not really what we're chasing here. A third Kawakami Princess is not really what we're chasing here. Okay, there's our first fine motion, so that puts us to 2 limit break. If we can get to 3, we're happy. If obviously we want to get to max limit break if we can, but if we get to 3 limit break, then we unlock Mood Effect. And actually, we'll be able to pity to a third copy, so getting that 1 copy is a big deal. Even if we don't see another fine motion, we're good. Zeno Rob Roy's speed card is also kind of good, I think. What do you give? You give Lion Weight? Nah, maybe it's not. Never mind. I think I was getting confused with another card. Also, a copy of Nishino Flower's power card here. Significant source of race bonus for Track Blazer when that comes out. So that is also a nice pickup. Fine motion copy? No, just another copy of Twin Turbo. Okay. Nothing else super relevant there. Nothing super relevant here. Copy of Shinko Windy's okay. I would really, if nothing else, I'd like to see some SR or Sweet Toshos. Cafe copy's nice. Delson Jordan copy's nice. A winning ticket copy is not great at all. I do not believe that is a good card. Mood Effect and Stand bonus. No specialty priority that I can see. Yeah, not a good card. Also not a good card, but this is nice. Looking forwards to Track Blazer. Suzuka's SSR speed card is actually quite good. We don't care too much about the gold skill, but this is actually a very serviceable card, even at 0 uncaps. It's better than Biko at 0 uncaps, in my opinion. And then you also have excellent frontrunner hints off of it too. That's a very nice card to pick up. Extra copies of Mate Kani that we don't need. This is also probably enough to put Daiwa Scarlet to max limit break at this point. We'd still like to see 1 more fine motion. If we don't, it's okay. Even 3 limit breaks is fine. There's our Rico copy, too. Smart Falcon copy is decent for getting groundwork if we want to build frontrunners, and this also puts us to max limit break on Rico, if we weren't there already. It's not a good power card, but it's serviceable. The biggest thing you're looking for is the option to take groundwork out of the first chain of the event. That is very nice for putting parents together for trying to get a groundwork spark onto somebody. This is probably max copies of Nishino Flower. And then nothing. Okay, so we're going to be at 3 limit break fine motion. We can move to max limit break when we finish our rainbow crystal. And that is probably what we'll spend that on, because fine motion holds her value for the next year or so. A little under a year. But all told, that is not a bad series of pulls. We also have our free trainee pull that we should probably just go ahead and use. Nothing on that. Okay. Again, expected. We're not really hoping to get anything out of those single free pulls. So let's go take a look at what we're working with in uncaps here. Filter me down to uncaps available, and then filter me down to not looking at rares. Obviously, we have fine motion to 3 uncaps. And then we're also immediately going to go and level that up, because that is going to give us access to Mood Effect. 15%. I believe that gets much higher at max limit break, but this is still a big bump in efficacy to that fine motion card. So let's get that sorted out. Good. We have our Kitasan uncap, obviously. We're nowhere near Kitasan being usable. Even if we used an uncap crystal on it, we'd only go to 2 limit break, and the 3 is the point that Kitasan becomes functional, so that's going to sit in the library for a little while longer. Got Kawakami to 2 uncaps. So what do your stats look like at 2 uncaps? Are you a functional card for us, or are you just something we'll use in team trials when we're not sure what else to put there? Spec priority 30, mood effect 26, friendship bonus 27. We're missing out on initial friendship gauge, so she's going to be difficult to get to rainbow, but if we're just looking for the gold skill, we don't actually care that much. And then we still get 7% race bonus out of that 17% fan bonus. It's probably usable, but I don't think I need to level it up right now. Then we have Kaseki to 3 uncaps, but our wit cards are already phenomenal, so I don't think we're going to need to use her specifically. We have Daiwa to 3 uncaps, but again, our wit cards are already phenomenal. I don't think we have to use her specifically. Digital's power card is not good, so we'll just use up the extra copy of that card. I don't believe that Fine Motion's power card is any good either, but I've never actually looked that closely at it. And then let's start grabbing cards that we know we use regularly. So we use Manhattan Cafe all the time. We use Shinko Windy somewhat regularly. The serviceable speed card. We use Tosin Jordan somewhat regularly, although probably not as much now that we've got the SSR for her. Taishin is not a great card. Nishino Flower to 3 uncaps is nice. We'd really like to find a 4th copy of that card for Track Blazer, and it might be what we use our gold crystal on when we get it. And then Daitaku to 2 is a power card we use somewhat regularly. Possibly Zeno Robroy as well. Anything else we really care about here? Not really. I don't like Mayano's stamina card, so I think I'm just going to leave that. We don't care about these 3 guts cards. Taishin's speed card is quite bad. Tachyon, we're not using a wit card anytime soon, and Hayahide's power card I don't think is phenomenal. So that should be pretty much it. And then let's go grab Rico as well. You can filter on Pal, because you're going to have to scroll through a lot of stuff to find her otherwise. Oh, we got tons of copies of her. Okay. So that is also a very nice help. We should go and level her up as well. Otherwise, we're liable to forget. It's giving us another 5%. Well, it's actually unlocking training effectiveness in the first place, which is great. So that's just going to make her a more effective card overall. And then I'm going to pause. I'm going to uncap all the rest of the stuff that we have in here just so I can convert the duplicates, and then I will catch you guys when I'm done with that process. Alright, so we're done uncapping, and look at all of this stuff that we now have to turn into delicious, delicious cleats. We're going to go ahead and convert everything here since we finished our uncapping. And then we should have just a few more pulls to be able to do. So we head over to Cleat Exchange, drop down into gold cleats. We can now do a make debut scout. We can get 2 trainee scout tickets. We can get 2 support guard scout tickets. And then for our silver cleats, we can do a make debut scout. We can get 2 trainee scout tickets. We can do 2 support guard scout tickets. We will not be using the support guard scout tickets. I know how close we are to a fine motion. And yes, if we did a few more 10 pulls, we could probably hit. But in terms of playing Uma free to play, I really strongly believe that the best thing that you can do to maximize the value that you get out of your carrots is to pull the pity and then stop. Because there is no guarantee that you're going to see the card that you want to see unless you can get to that next 200 point threshold. And in this case, we're a long ways off of it. We're down to 10,000 carrots. We are going to be rebuilding for a little while before we're able to pull on a support card banner again. And each of these tickets counts for pity, which saves you a lot of carrots in the long run. 10 support card tickets is basically 1,500 carrots, which is a lot of value. So we're going to be holding on to those, and we're going to be pulling on trainees instead, because we don't really ever care about hitting pity on trainees, because we're not pulling to get trainees in the first place. So we'll spend these tickets down, in hopes of grabbing ourselves an Admire Vega Mile Runner, to continue making our mile slot more flexible. We will not get that. And then we have 2 more SR guaranteed tickets. And here, it would be very nice to hit a usable SR speed card. So if we're talking about how our polls went, I think they went okay. Matikami's not one, obviously. Taishin is also not one. Unfortunate. So I think those polls went okay. Obviously, they could have been better. We could have hit a max limit break fine motion instead of being stuck at 3 limit break, but a 3 limit break fine motion is still usable. And we got a number of other good SSR cards out of those pulls. We got a Silent Suzuka, which is very usable, and then we got a Sweet Tosho and a Smart Falcon, which are usable for parent runs and useful for parent runs. We also got our hands on Kawakami Princess, who's going to be okay for putting together team trials, because she has a relevant gold skill. All of that is good. And also, obviously, we picked up another copy of Kita-san on the off chance that we get randomly another copy in another banner. We're only 1 uncap away from making her usable as well. So that's all good. The downside's obviously not getting to max limit break fine motion, but also, somewhat more importantly, we didn't get any copies of the SR speed cards that we were looking for. We're still at 2 limit break King Halo, 1 limit break Sweep Tosho. That's unfortunate, because these are cards that we're going to have in most of our decks going forwards, and we'd really like them to be strong if possible. So there's a bit of good in those pulls, there's a bit of bad in those pulls, but that's usually the way it goes with pulling on anything in a gacha game anyway. Regardless, we now have a stronger account, and so it's time to figure out what we want to do with the run today, basically. And we should grab our Valentine's Day candy too. We'll get one from Goldchip as the previous CM, well, the first CM Victor, since she was the one who won our first B rank CM, or Open League CM that we did on the account. So we have a few options available to us. Originally, I was thinking that we could remake L and we could remake Taiki, because we were expecting to get copies of Fine Motion, and we did get copies of Fine Motion, which is nice. I was not expecting that we were going to get that copy of SSR Sweet Tosho, which means that we could now try and get Straightaway Spurt onto End Closer Haru. And it's especially salient because I wanted to go over a comment that I got on the last video from Coke Kami. So we're going to pop over to Kachi Dev, and we're going to talk about Straightaway Spurt and why Straightaway Spurt is important. Alright, so we've got Kachi Dev. We have UMA 1 and UMA 2. They are exactly the same, down to the running style, down to the stats, down to everything. So if we hit random on our seed and we compare them, we can see that there's a little bit of variance in terms of who comes first and who comes second, and that's just because pace up and pace down and whether you activate downhill and all of these other things that happen in a race are a little bit random. So at worst, runner 1 loses to runner 2 by 4 lengths. At best, runner 2 beats runner 1 by 4 lengths, or whatever the opposite was. But the point is that the mean and the median are roughly the same. These runners are carbon copies of one another. We would expect them to finish around the same time. Now, what if we add in something like Daring Strike, which is our current chase gold that we're getting from Admire Vega for putting our CM together? Let's go ahead and change our seed, compare again. We can see that the difference that we're producing between runner 1 who has Daring Strike and runner 2 who doesn't is around 0.75 lengths. So we can say that's about how much Daring Strike is worth. If we change the seed and we run it again, it's going to shift a little bit, but it's going to be somewhere in that margin. This one's closer to 0.8. This one, after it's done simming, is closer to 0.8. And then this one, after it's done simming, is closer to 0.65. So the value, quote unquote, of talking about how much Daring Strike is worth, it's worth somewhere between 0.6 to 0.8 lengths, which is decent. But then what happens if we plug in Straightaway Spurt, which is not a gold skill? This is a white skill. So it's costing you about half as much as Straightaway as Daring Strike is. We'll go ahead and change our seed. We'll compare. We are now at a median difference of 1.43 lengths. So it is almost twice as valuable as Daring Strike is. We change seed and run again. We get 1.47 to 1.52. We compare and run again. We get 1.4 to 1.42. So Straightaway Spurt makes a huge deal. And the comment that Kokami left specifically was they don't see the point of running End Haru without Spurt, just gamble on late instead. They are absolutely right that Spurt is a major component of your End Closer kit. The reason that we were running End Haru is because we have the chance to get lucky with getting Straightaway Spurt out of random hints from Unity Cup, and that is one way to get it. But there's a second issue, and the second issue is that if we were to run late, where are we getting our late surger acceleration skills from? Because late isn't necessarily inherently better than End Closer is. And I'll show you what I mean by where are these skills going to come from. So we're over on Game Tora. We've looked up the skill list, and I've put a few filters in here. I've filtered by rare skills only, because we're only really talking about golds. And I filtered on late surger skills specifically. So there's a few to look at here. There's Fast and Furious, Rising Dragon, which are two good velocity mid-race skills on this particular track. Yes, this is increased velocity when passing another runner on the outside on the final corner, but the final corner is in mid-race on this CM track, so it's still going to trigger in mid-race when our mid-race velocity matters. The issue with these two skills is that they come from cards that are bad. So we can get it through potential from Special Week, Tamamo, or Winning Ticket. None of those are dirt runners. We don't really want to put in the effort to build them as dirt runners. We can also get it from Tamamo Cross's SSR Stamina card or Marvelous Sunday's SSR Power card. Both of these cards have 0 specialty priority, which is going to make them a tall ask to put into any deck. And then for Rising Dragon, we can get it from the alt costume El Condor Pasa, Kawakami Princess, or Mejiro Ryan. These are either runners that we don't have access to, or they're runners that can't run on dirt. Or you can get it from Bamboo Memories SSR, which is not a good SSR either. And then you have On Your Left, which is the gold standard late surgery acceleration skill. That actually does come from a good card. You can get it off of Nice Nature's SSR Wit card, which is nice. But the problem is we don't have the SSR Nature Wit card, so we'd have to borrow it. And if we have to borrow it, that means we're not getting Kita-san. So if we go back to the race simulator, and we think about how much Professor of Curvature is worth, in addition to the fact that it is attached to the single strongest speed card in the entire game right now, Curvature by itself as a gold skill is worth close to 0.8 lengths, which is worth more than Daring Strike is. And Daring Strike itself is attached to a fairly decent power card in its own right. Admire Vega has good training effectiveness, and she also doesn't have so much specialty priority that she can't wander around to different trainings and give you some stats there. Whereas a card like Marvelous Sunday has no training effectiveness, and I don't think any mood effect either, and then also has no specialty priority. So she just doesn't do anything as far as I'm concerned. Let me double check that though. Yeah, she gets she gets 10% training effectiveness from her unique, but there's no inherent training effectiveness. There is no inherent mood effect. So she's not great as a roaming card in the first place. The point being that if you have the ability to access the good end closer skills, and there is one more good end closer skill, which is Furious Feet, which is not actually a late surger skill. It's just a are you in the back late race on a mile track. This you can get off of Ogre Cap's SSR, which is a very good power card, but again, it's not a power card that we have. So if we wanted to build Haru as a late surger, we don't have easy access to either Furious Feet or On Your Left, which means that our best approach in terms of building a runner that can win from late race is just gambling on getting straightaway spurt randomly, because at least that's a white skill and it can show up from Spirit Bursts. But the broader point that I want to make, and the reason that I'm rethinking what I even wanted to do on this run today, is because we actually can kind of get straightaway spurt now. And we could think about putting together an end closer Haru that has access to Professor of Curvature and Daring Strike and straightaway spurt if we get a little lucky. So I think that's what we're going to try and do today. We're going to hop over to Career. We're going to set ourselves up in Unity Cup. We're going to do one more Haru run. I dread the idea of making a third Haru thumbnail and thinking about what that is going to do for the SEO of these videos. But in this case, I think it's warranted. We'll look for... Oh yeah, I forgot. We don't have any of those sparks, do we? Alright, turn it down to nothing then. And then sort me by affinity bonus. Who did we take last time? I know I ask this every single time, but who did we take last time? This actually doesn't look that bad. Nimble Nav, Ramp Up, Unity Cut, Mile Corners. That's not a bad parent. Where's the last Haru that I made? Who was your parent? It was this type. It was this L. Oh, because you had the Dirt Spark. That's right. Yeah, okay. We should probably prioritize that then. So we're going to take you with the Dirt Spark. It's all coming back to me. Even though it was less than 24 hours ago, it's all coming back to me. Excuse me? Oh, right, because it's a Wit Spark. You know what? Reset filters. Dirt, 2 or above. There you are. Okay, that was way harder than it needed to be. And then over here, we're looking for the end closer to Mamo. Right there. This is our normal parent configuration, and it's worked fine so far. We have Rico slotted in, which is good. We'll get Kita-san in here, which is good. I like the idea of keeping Daring Strike, just because it is extra mid-race velocity. But I think we're going to swap out... I don't know, I should swap out Sweet Tosho. Because you're not... And you're okay. Friendship bonus 26. Training effectiveness 6. Functionally. Mood effect 32. Friendship bonus 25. TE 5. Mood effect 50. Spec priority 35. I think Sweet Tosho is supposed to go just because she's at 1 limit break right now. If we had gotten more copies of her, she would be much better. And then she is getting replaced with Sweet Tosho's SSR. And then you're getting leveled as well. Adjust your filters quick. So this is not a guarantee to get straightaway spurt off of Tosho. 50 specialty priority at 0 uncaps is quite good. And then friendship bonus and speed bonus from that. It's a shame we're not going to have mood effect or training effectiveness coming off of this card. It does mean that it's fairly dead in terms of not going to speed training, but at least it goes to speed training every once in a while. So that's nice for us. And we're going to try to run something like this. So, Spurt is not guaranteed. It's a chance. Daring Strike is not guaranteed. Curvature is not guaranteed. But nothing's really guaranteed at the end of the day. And this should at least be an upgrade in terms of the raw specialty priority that the deck is able to generate. So we're going to try this. I swear to you, on my life, this is the last Haru run for Aquarius we're going to do, and then we're going to do fine motion runs instead, and we're going to rebuild all of our Team Trials Pace Chasers, because we have so many more tools for them now. But I think that Coke is absolutely right in that there really isn't a point to running End Haru without Spurt, which means we just have to go and get Spurt. It's as simple as that. First few trainings, we maximize friendship. Continue to maximize friendship. I don't need to see other trainings. I know that's the one I'm taking. We have Unity training unlocked. That's a great wit. We have more Unity training unlocked. It's not a great wit. Not a great anything. This is definitely a recreation turn. Let's get mood fixed. This is our gamble on straightaway Spurt, so cross your fingers. Not getting it. You know what? I can't necessarily recommend this approach, but trainings are... hear me out. Trainings are 15 energy right now. Because it happened so early, and you're not going to use the other parent borrows. No, that's cowardice. Like, we could get good sparks out of this, is the thing. Also, we could still get straightaway Spurt randomly from a Unity Cup hint. Yeah, we should stick it out. I think that'd be very BM to just throw a run immediately because you don't get the one thing you're looking for. I'm playing. We're not gonna cancel the run. This is a decent win. This is 2 spirit trainings though, but it makes our next training a little dicey. I would rather just preserve the energy right now. Even if it comes at the cost of spirit training. Good mood up. Would love a Mile Corners hint if possible. Disastrous. None of these look phenomenal either. I mean, at least this stamina training lets us train next turn, and we get 2 spirit trainings out of it. It's not horrible. This is another free mood up, which is nice. So we're up to great now. This training is going to be a little risky, but that's a phenomenal power training. And then that's going to take us into a rest, because we are now tanked on energy. I do not need practice perfect. I'll just take speed and power. Giving up on a lot of fairly middling trainings. That speed training's okay, but there's not really anything else going on. 1 spirit training, 1 spirit training. 1 spirit training, but also friendship progress, and Rika's there to offset the cost. I don't mind that. I would not mind an early charming, that's for sure. 1 spirit training, 1 spirit training. Incredible friendship progress. We take that speed for sure. And then this takes us into debut. Not bad so far. We don't have anything to buy. We'll just go ahead and send this. Good. Debut victory always smooths over the rest of the run. And then we have to think about fan threshold. So our race target is 17. 16 to 18 is pretty comfortable in terms of being able to buy all the skills that we want, so let's plan those out. Right now we have 5, 8 in the finale, and then 9 for the debut. So we need to go 10, 11, 13, And then we need to find 4 more. So that's 14, 15. I thought there was one in here too. Yeah, there we go. 16. And then I like the fact that this is a G1 or a G3 dirt mile for that little extra fan count. Is there another G3 dirt around here? So I know there's some in summer break, but I'm not going to plan those ahead of time. I think that should be okay. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. And we should find one more. We should find one more dirt G3 in senior year. And then let's say that's the schedule. That should do a fairly good job. This is better friendship progress on Guts than Power. In fact, this is no friendship progress on Power because Rico's friendship isn't like a real thing. So I think this is a rare case of us just taking Guts for the sake of friendship progress. I do not feel compelled to gamble on energy right now, because if we hit the -10, we probably can't train super safely next turn. Yeah, I'm just going to take the wit to take the safe option out of that. It's okay. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. None of these are good. Hey, this could just be a rest. But Kita-san does have some relevant hints. Like, we could hit Corner Adept off of this, and that would be fine. It's also just a rainbow training, so it's slightly better statistically. Corner Recovery is not exactly what we were looking for there. And then we're going to have to rest on this turn, but fortunately it's not a very good turn. So we're not missing out on too much. This is going to give us Crusader, which we're not going to be buying. It is not a skill that does anything in CM, and this is a CM runner candidate. It's an okay power, it's an okay stamina, and I like that it builds Tosin Jordan's friendship up a bit, plus it has Kita-san here for a little bit of extra stats out of training effectiveness and mood effect. So we'll take that. And then 2 Spirit Training Rainbow Speed, 1 Spirit Training 2 Friendship Progress. You should probably take the speed for the sake of Spirit Training. Because you can still train safely next turn if you see a good training. You're early in the run, you don't have to prioritize friendship that heavily, you would rather try and build up your Spirit Training first. Holy cow. It's the greatest power training anyone has ever seen. We'll be taking that, obviously. And then we'll probably be resting unless we unlock Rico on this turn. Yeah, that's not happening. That's an okay Guts training. If we were at full energy, I wouldn't mind taking that, but we are very far from full energy. So let's get another 70 energy back. We've gotten very good rolls on that so far. We'll take speed and stamina. Single rainbow speed that also puts Tosin Jordan to gold and also has 2 spirit trainings on it is looking real attractive right now. Here's our Rico unlock before Classic Year, which is worth a couple extra stats for us. Remember, there is still a chance that we could get straightaway Spurt from a random burst. That's a really good speed training too, holy cow. Yeah, that's great. We could still get Spurt here. Just because we failed Sweep Tosho's event does not mean that we can't randomly get it from some other Spirit Burst. Single rainbow power with 2 other people there. 1 spirit training, not really anything. I mean, this is 40 stats from a power training. That's pretty good. It's a lot of mood effect friends that are there. And a double rainbow speed with a burst on it at 17%. I'd probably risk that. This is a really good training if it works. Yeah, okay, huge. So then we Rico last turn, just to get some energy back, and then we get more energy back Classic Year. Intense Gaze is a decent hint. Enclosure skill that screws up the velocity for everybody in front of you. What are you passing up? Single spirit training. A really nice stamina training. If you had full energy, you'd take it, but you're not going to take it now. We'll just Rico here to use up one charge, build energy up a little bit, and then with this, plus the plus 20 in Classic Year, we'll be able to go back to training again. We are at 18 Unity trainings, 1 Spirit Burst. That is a fairly average Unity Cup team right now. We're probably going to be taking middle option. It does not inspire me with confidence right now. We haven't had a ton of Spirit training, and obviously we've only burst one time. Let's take the easy path. Good. Very good, very good. $20 energy for sure. Get an extra bit of stamina and guts out of that. Hints for sympathy that we will never use. Single rainbow speed with 1 spirit training. 2 spirit trainings and nobody on stamina. 2 spirit trainings and 2 friends on wit. This is probably a wit training. I do want to try and get wit a little higher than 148 by the end of the run. And speed is pretty high already. We should statistically be able to produce a better speed training than that right now, because we have 3 speed cards at gold. So let's say that a single rainbow is probably below average at this point, and save our pennies up by putting them into 15 energy, by putting them into spirit training instead, try and level our facilities up even faster. 2 spirit trainings, 1 spirit training, 1 spirit training, and a hint. We don't care about your hints, but we do care about your friendship to get you back online. So let's split the difference between spirit training and that, and then this hint will push you to gold. Double rainbow speed versus 3 spirit trainings. 2 spirit trainings versus 3 spirit trainings is interesting, but we're not gonna skip a double rainbow. And then we'd really like to race this turn if we can. We'd really like to grab Daring Strike if we can. So that's 1 threshold cleared. We still need to see Curvature, but we have lots of time to still see it. All of these trainings are horrible. Let's go ahead and take an open victory. Good. By 9 lengths, holy cow. I mean, I guess our stats are kind of crazy right now. This is a really strong Haru current. I think our power is going to be okay. Give me wit to get us closer to like 600. Single rainbow speed, 3 spirit trainings. No rainbow power, 3 spirit trainings. Wit, 2 spirit trainings. Guts, 1 spirit training. I'm okay with wit here just because 7% and 9% are a little sketchy in terms of failing those. So let's get our energy up just a little bit and then we can train very safely next turn. It's not quite as good, but it's still okay. It's not good though. Like, it's really not good. Previously, in this very year, we've said that a single rainbow training is probably below average. So why exactly would we want to sink energy into that right now when we have 2 races coming up? I don't think you would. I think you actually Rico this turn to use up a Rico charge and build energy for these next 2 races. It feels odd, but I think that's correct. We have all 4 of our speed cards online right now to gold. Why am I going to spend energy on a single rainbow training? We could technically be hitting quad rainbows right now. Don't need any of those. Single rainbow? It's not good enough. That's a decent power. It's actually a pretty good power. We should probably do this instead of race today. Because Rico's here to offset the energy difference, and also we have training effectiveness cards here to get extra stats out of it. 3 plus 10 energy. And then we also need to find another race to run. How about you? Holy crap. Okay, so we can't race this turn either. Jesus. Like I was saying, those single rainbow speed trainings, those were below average for what our deck should be able to produce. Alright, single rain. Okay, we're back. We're back to normal. This is a turn that we can race on. Nothing looks super impressive here. Holy cow, man. I need to see straightaway spurt out of a random Unity Cup burst like yesterday. We've even hit -5 twice. This run is crazy right now. This is curvature. One hint is okay. That's fine. I'm still gonna buy it. 1 spirit training, 1 spirit training, 2 spirit training, 1 spirit training. This is a Rico charge in my book. Build our energy up before we go into summer break. Plus 26 energy, please. And then we'd really like to wit here. Double rainbow speed. You probably should take this. I think this is an average training for you right now. It is a lot of energy to spend right before summer break, but we don't necessarily get lucky in summer break, and this is a fairly good training. So I think we take this, we run the Unicorn Stakes, we rest early July, and we just cross our fingers that it's not a good training that we hit on the first turn of summer break. Or on this turn, for that matter. Single rainbow, that's a good start. That's a nice wit. But I'm not going to take a wit over running a G3. We want to stay on our race target. So that we can buy the relevant skills that we want at the end of the run. Okay. We couldn't keep hitting -5s forever, so that's expected. This is going to be a bit of a scary run. We've still only burst 1 time, and we've only hit like 8 spirit trainings. That's not good. That's not good at all. I also don't have any sprinters, so I can move over here, so it has to be Vega. I don't see anybody else here who even knows what a sprint is. Like, Shinko Windy sprint C, but turf E, so that's not going to work out. Inari is sprint F. Yeah, none of you can sprint. So we're just going to leave Vega there. There's nothing else we can do about it. And then we're forced into taking top because we took middle in the first round. So we're crossing our fingers here. We survive. But we are massively behind on spirit training right now because we've been prioritizing rainbows pretty heavily because the rainbows have been really good. Double rainbow speed is unfortunate to miss, but I can miss it. Give me the rest, and then I'd really like to wit here if I can. If we just wit 3 turns in summer break, I think that's actually fine. Because at least they're level 5 wit trainings. 1, 1, nothing. 2, 2. You should probably take speed here because vodka could give you a hint for Miles Straits. And updrafters. Updrafters would actually be really nice. Let's see if we can get a vodka hint. Straightaway Excel. You know, there's a world where I might still take it. Single rainbow speed, single spirit training, single spirit trainings. These are all really bad. I don't want to take this speed because this speed is below average and we have 1 more turn of summer break left. I also really don't want to rest again. I guess I can take this wit. It's not an exciting wit, but it is like 25 stats or so. I just want to see a wit training with like 3 supports there and 5 spirit trainings. That would be ideal for me right now. Not quite. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Technically, this speed training is the most spirit training progress we can get. It's a messed up world that we live in. I think you have to do it. Put Matikane to burst. And then this burst needs to go to wit or stamina. And that's it. Like, our stamina is a huge problem right now. Our wit is also not ideal. I can't take that. I can't take any of these. We have to Rico this turn. It's going to fix our mood, and it's going to let us train safely next turn. For as good as this run's RNG is, we still have problems that we need to solve. 2 spirit trainings, 3 spirit trainings, 1 spirit training. This is also Etsuko here, which gives us extra stamina. But it does mean we can't train safely next turn. Whereas this puts Vodka to burst and preserves our energy. I think I'd rather do that. Let's try and just allocate bursts onto stamina. Breath of fresh air is not something that we need. There's a burst on wit. I like what that does for my energy management right now. We also get a spirit training out of Boxtion with it. Sprint straight's not something we need. Late straight's not something we need. 15 energy, something that we need desperately. A second burst on it. A crazy guts training. No, I think we take this burst again because there's also 2 spirit trainings here. I am A-okay with managing my energy like this. Huge lead we will not be taking. Power training we will not be taking. 1 spirit, 1 spirit, 2 spirit, 1 spirit. This is a JBC sprint day. So let's do that. Good. Show me -5? That's okay. And then +10 energy? Yes, please. Single rainbow speed? Not good enough. 4 spirit trainings on stamina? Extremely good enough. That's a great training. Etsuko's even there for extra stamina. We're slowly fixing this. Stam up to 3. All of these trainings look fairly horrible. I don't see any rainbows. We'd probably take that wit if nothing else, but we have the option to do a G1, so we're going to take the G1. Great. That's also fan threshold. Not that we need to level our unique up, but 1 spirit training, 3 spirit training, 2 spirit training, 1 spirit training, 11% failure I don't love. I think I'm fine just taking a wit here as a very small amount of spirit training progress. And then we'll get our energy back in senior year. So big problems right now, stamina for sure. Stamina is a massive problem for us. We need to be at like 500 to 550 by the end of the run. Unity Cup is a big problem for us. We're at 39 trainings, 3 spirit bursts, so we're kinda starting to catch up, but our bursts are really low for where they should be right now. And then also our wit is really falling behind, but there's not a ton that we can do about that, given that we aren't actually running a wit card in this deck. It's just kinda the best that we can do. As long as we keep winning these Unity Cup rounds, though, we're fine. So that's good, at least. Okay. And then 1 year to go. We will take a 30 energy. We will train. That's a massive power training. Look at all the spirit training progress we get out of this. That's beautiful. Etsuko's there as well. Saw straight away and I got excited. And then this is going to be Raffle. Okay, that's a pretty significant stat boost. Pretty sure we've already done Hot Spring for Haru. But we're happy to see the stats out of it for sure. Good. One more race down. We would like to hit everything on our calendar right now, but we have a little flexibility to move things around if we see a good training. This is Fan Threshold. And then after winning Feb Stakes, we should be at Fan Threshold again. Single Rainbow Speed that puts Kidasan to Burst. 3 Spirit Training, 3 Spirit Training, 2, 1, 2. Speed is just the best training we have available on this turn in terms of what it does. So let's do that. Speed to 4. Feb Stakes time. She cannot be stopped. That's Fan Threshold number 2. And we got a lot of training ahead of us still. Double Rainbow Speed versus Burst on Stamina. We have to burst on Stamina. Stamina is very far behind where it needs to be right now, so let's keep getting that taken care of. Unyielding Spirit is not horrible. It's just a generic mid-race velocity skill for Miles, I believe. Another burst on Stamina. It's 16% to fail. Do I have other G... I do have another G3 that I could run here. I'm not going to take this Stamina training. This is too risky to fail at this point. We can just wait to get a good burst on it later. I'm actually thinking about either resting or doing Rico here to build energy back up. I think we're down to a... Yeah, we only have 1 Rico charge left, so we should probably rest here just in case we hit a random mood down in the second half of the year. So let's do that, and then we'll try and run this G3 unless we see a really good training. No Mile S, no Power S. Which is the other element of the run that needs to go right. Nothing, 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 nothing. This looks like a wonderful race turn. None of those trainings really pop out at me as being something that's good and worth taking. Okay. Nice friendship boost with Etsuko. Single Rainbow. Burst on Power is not really where I want power. We could just take this Wit training. This is a nice Wit training for building Spirit trainings. And I'm not compelled to race, although I should see if I can find a race in here, because then we could think about maybe canceling one further down here, or just buying more skills. Like, if we see one bad training day, we should probably still race. 1 Spirit, 2 Spirit, 1 Spirit, 2 Spirit, but it's on Stamina. A single Rainbow with nobody else there. This probably should be a Stamina training, but I think it could be a race day as well. Never mind, it's going to be a Stamina training. I don't feel like running an open. Let's get an Ari one closer to burst in that case. Triple Rainbow Speed is going to be real hard to pass up. Let's grab that. And then this probably needs to be a rest, giving up a single Rainbow... Ooh, we could burst on Wit here, actually. Wit Burst isn't horrible, and then rest late June. I think we can find a way to make our stamina get there. I don't immediately know how we're going to do it, but I think we can. 1 Spirit, 2 Spirit, 1 Spirit. These are horrible. We have a race we're supposed to run? Oh, we can't do the Teosha. We'll just take a rest then. And that's perfect energy for going into summer break. We have a goal race in the middle of it, so we can train all 3 turns. We have a single B rank runner, so our Unity Cup team is caught up. This is about where we should be. 53, and well, we're a little behind on bursts. I would rather be at like 53 and 7 right now, probably, but 53 and 5 is pretty good. Good win. Very easy. One, 2, 1, 3, 1, but it's a good wit training. Let's take this, put Taiki to burst, and continue to invest in our wit. Focus, not something we're going to be buying for CM. Triple rainbow speed is something we're extremely interested in. And then we can still train late August too. Good win. So this is a... well, we're not done yet. This is an undefeated Haru. She's going to lose a Rimakinan, but everything else has been really, really good. We can't technically do an undefeated Haru unless we also win the Arima. She's done everything else right. It's not a horrible wit training. But I'd rather... yeah, I think I'd rather just take the speed. Because it's also building power at the same time. Like this, I think this Haru is going to wind up at like 1100 speed, 1100 power, which is wild. I don't think I need to burst on it. I like that this puts Tosho to burst and also gets Shinko Windy closer. We also do have one more Rico charge to use up here at some point, so we should keep an eye on that. But we need to burst on stamina to make up the difference, I think. 2, 2, 1, 1. This may be our Rico turn to get that event over with. And to rebuild energy. Double rainbow, single rainbow, 2 bursts, 2 trainings, 2 trainings. I think we can take a double rainbow speed here that also puts Shinko Windy to burst. And then we train late October, we run JBC Sprint, we rest late November, and then we race. It's an okay stamina training. It just builds stats. Yeah, you can take it. I really don't want to burst on Guts, and I don't feel like I need to do a race. We're going to wind up at like 476 stamina unless we do something about that. We're really going to be relying on her unique unless we get like 2 bursts on stamina. We'll see how it goes. We're also quickly running out of time to get a straightaway spurt from a random Unity Cup hint. It's not the burst on stamina I was looking for. I don't think I can afford to spend the burst on wit. We just need to take a rest here. Good. I would love 18 stamina right now, actually. Not a burst on stamina. We have 2 bursts available right now. We just need them to go to stamina. If we burst twice on stamina, I think we're A-okay. That's perfect. Stamina plus 12. That's exactly the stat we wanted out of that. We need 1 good speed training in the finals, and we need 1 good burst on stamina, and then we are set. We are looking real good. Team is looking virtually unchanged from last time they ran. We're at 59 and 5. I don't think this team beats Zenith. But it might. Yeah, it does. Okay, sure. So that's a Nimble Navigator run. Or a No Stopping Me run, technically. Plus 8 stats. That should be more than enough to push us to Team Rank S. Speed 5, Power 5, everything else to 4. That's Team Rank S after this turn. Not the speed training we're looking for, also not the burst we're looking for, but we'll still take it because we can afford to train on all 3 of these turns. There's Team Rank S, as foretold. But we need these last 2 turns to connect now. Still nothing. Single burst on gut still. Give me the speed training. Worst case, we can just say she has a recovery. Actually, worst case is she's not as good as the previous Haru that we made, but I feel like we have this deck dialed in now. After that first run that we did. The subsequent 2 have been much better. Still nothing. Send it. That's okay. That's okay. It's the last turn of the career. You might as well try and gamble on it. So we're not going to quite hit 1100. We're also pretty far behind on stamina. But I'm convinced that this deck is the deck to use. The 4-speed, 1-power Rico configuration has worked out really well. It's just a question of getting everything to line up, which we're not going to manage to do before Aquarius actually starts, because this is the last Haru we're building. I don't think this account has good enough cards or a good enough borrow slot to warrant trying to make a late Surger Haru. I just don't think it's going to work with what we have available, so End Closer is going to be our best option, and we're just going to have to admit that she is not as good as she could be if she had Straightaway Spurt. So we'll pick up Daring Strike. Wait, did we get Curvature? Yeah, we got Curvature. We did. Take it's on. Take no stopping me. Did we get any of the good corner skills? Unyielding Spirit is just like random mid-race velocity. It's fine. We didn't get any of the good corner skills either. You know, this run is not as good as I thought it was. Acceleration can technically activate at a good time in late race. It's a little gambly. And then Adept can also, like, maybe activate at useful times, but there's nothing else going on here that's great. Statistically, I think this Haru, and by statistically I mean purely in terms of her stats. Like, statistically, I think this Haru is better than the one we built yesterday. But in terms of skills, I think it's quite a bit worse. 1 stam, 3 late. It's so close to being useful. Yeah, it is our best Haru statistically, but not by a lot. You could be Steamy Solidarity. I don't think it's as good of a CM candidate, though. Either way, that's gonna do it for Aquarius prep for Haru. I can't do any more Haru runs for the sake of like my own sanity and doing different things in the game, but also in terms of not making this channel look like it is a Haru fan channel. Like we gotta do something else here. These were parent runs. No, these weren't parent runs either. We needed to stop doing Taiki too. So this is going to be our CM candidate Haru. We have no stopping me. Uma stand for catching up mid-race. Curvature, it's on. Daring Strike for mid-race velocity. Mile Corners for mid-race velocity. And then we're just banking on the fact that 1019 power, 1058 speed will be good enough. I don't think that Haru wins races, though. I think the 2 big CM candidates are going to be this Taiki, which is very scary. Over 1000 power, Dirt S, 1 good acceleration skill, maybe a second one if she positions well. A lot of top-end speed and Uma stand. And then this L, which is not Dirt S, is not power, but does have forward march. Also has tail held high for great mid-race velocity and potential carryover. A little bit of debuff as well, and firm conditions, which is another power bump. So I think between these 3, we have an alright Aquarius team. And that's probably going to do it for our Aquarius runners. The next couple runners that we build are going to be Team Trials revisions of all of our Pace Chasers now that we have Fine Motion. So we'll rebuild Pace Air Groove, We'll rebuild Pace Matikane. We'll rebuild Pace Tachyon, which is good because Tachyon's underperforming relative to how she should be. We'll redo Pace Taiki and Pace L on Dirts because I also think they're underperforming relative to how they should be. And then we'll probably jump into rebuilding our Longs now that we finally have a reliable gold skill off of Tosin Jordan. And that should be enough to do on Team Trials to take us into Trackblazer, which is when we're going to have to revise all of this stuff anyway. But for now, let's go and knock some dailies out, starting with the transfer portal, which is open again. Let's go get rid of some of these veteran runners. A runner who does well in dirt races. I mean, do you want to take this Haru that I just made? Because we don't need her. I don't really think I need 3 late surge or pink sparks off of single stamina. You can have that. Yeah, that's fine. And then what else do you guys want? A runner confident in tenacity. Guts D or higher? You can have these Taikis probably. 1 speed, 2 mile. I think we have better mile sparks. 1 guts, 2 turf. You can definitely have that. 1 guts, 1 pace. You can definitely have that. So take these 3. And then a runner with decent speed. Speed E or higher. This gold chip is 1 power, 2 long. We can do better than that. His L is 1 wit, 2 pace. I can do better than that. 1 stam, 3 long. Nimble, 1 stam though. 1 wit, 2 medium with no white sparks. You're gone. 1 guts, 2 late. You're also probably gone. We gotta do some parent runs one of these days. I mean, we'll get to over the weekend, but maybe we should start doing more parent runs as part of like the main series as well. Alright, so that's transfer portal done. Let's go do our daily races. L, I trust you to do this. Good. Go buy our star pieces. Buy our alarm clocks, mile racing shoes we don't need right now. Let's go jump into our legend races. And again, we trust L to do these. I really wish they had a multi-race option for legend races too. I would love to just be able to blast through these. Another 8 stars. We have 82 stars for Ogre? When did that happen? We're over halfway to unlocking her. That's kind of sick. That's a potential target for like daily legend races when they come out. Awful mood this time. She alright, she figured it out. And then our last daily shop. Like, Teo's at 97? What the heck? Where am I getting all these star pieces from? Very odd. Is that the last one? No, we have one more. Alright, let's knock this out. And then we just have our team trials and our club. Good. Another 8 in the bag. Grab all these. And then pop me over to team trials. We are currently at 540. Promotion line is 517. I think we will be promoting this week for sure. But since we're about to start working on team trials runners again, let's take a look at who's underperforming this time. Figure out who it is we want to work on first. My suspicion is it's going to be the mile runners or the long runners. It's the long runners. Was this a long that you did today? Yeah, you did the 3600. I'm not going to read too much into that then. And then after that, it's mile, and inexplicably our dirt runners who just don't perform well for some reason. It definitely, I don't know how to begin remaking those dirt runners. They look so strong to me on the surface, and yet they're losing consistently in team trials points. I'm not sure what exactly the problem is there, but I guess at some point we're going to have to try remaking them until we get results. This is the long runners down here again. Mayano on mediums. The sprinters also need a little bit of work. Everybody needs work, basically. I guess the medium runners don't make a ton of noise. Watch this be like famous last words. Yeah, there's Agnes down there again. Sprint, medium, mile, long. Yeah, a bunch of stuff to work on. That's good though. We have stronger cards than we did last time we made them. I think Kawakami Princess is secretly going to be a lot better than she looks on the surface, just because of the quality and consistency and cheapness of the gold skill that she gives. So I'm looking forward to getting her into some team trials decks. Ticket is spending a lot of time down here. That long team needs some revisions. Maybe we should just jump into that. Because I think the long runners are the oldest runners at this point. We'll figure it out. There's always lots to do. There's always some project that you can be working on. But that's our team trials rewards. Let's check in on club. And then we'll wrap it up for today. So as always, if you are enjoying Uma, do let me know by liking the video, subscribing to the channel. If you have some ideas, feedback, thoughts, etc. on the run that we did today or how polls went, feel free to let me know in the comments. And if you want to share out the progress on your own account, feel free to let me know. I will catch you guys around tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a little dicey. I've got a work trip that I need to go on, so it might be a bit of a late episode again, but we'll get something out there. And I'll see you guys around in that one. But until then, take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one.